Tonight on CTV News.
At this stage, we don't yet know the cause of her death.
A teenage girl reported missing Monday night has been found dead in an East Vancouver home behind police tape. Also tonight.
These drugs fueled the fentanyl trade. They fueled addiction. They may have even fueled deaths.
New rules start today for BC's Safe Supply program. Will it be enough to stop the pills from being sold on the streets? And
did you mean to call 911 and not help you with your dishwasher?
From dishwasher disagreements to Walmart whiners, Ecom's top Nuisance 911 calls of the year.
This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Vancouver police descended on a home in East Vancouver after a grisly discovery, the body of a 16-year-old girl. Let's go live to the scene near East Pender and Renfrew Street, where our Dimitra Maragos is standing by. Dimitra, what do we know?
Yeah, Nafisa, as you just mentioned, we are on Renfrew and Pender, where the body of a missing girl who was reported missing on Monday was found dead. Now, the details of the situation are evolving, but here's what we know so far. Now, the coroner service removed the body this afternoon. Neighbors told CTV News police knocked on their doors around 12:30 a.m., saying a teen's phone was pinged to the area. VPD confirmed the teen was reported missing on Monday, and the disappearance was being investigated by the North Vancouver RCMP. Now, VPD could not confirm how long the teen had been missing. VPD says they were called to the scene around 9 a.m. this morning. Officers found the 16-year-old girl dead. VPD says the incident is still under investigation.
At this stage, we don't yet know the cause of her death, and we don't know whether or not her death was the result of a crime.
Now, neighbors who did not want to appear on camera say the home is a short-term rental with several units in the building. Again, the cause of the teen's death is still under investigation. VPD is urging anyone with information to call their major crimes unit. Dimitra Maragos, CTV News, Vancouver. Nafisa?
Thank you, Dimitra. Police in Burnaby say they've seized nearly $4 million worth of illegal drugs in a trafficking investigation. Burnaby RCMP's gang enforcement team seized more than 97 kilos of illicit drugs, which they say have a street value of nearly $4 million. That includes 41 kilos of meth and another 41 kilos of cannabis concentrate known as shatter. Police conducted the search last week in New Westminster following a 6-month investigation. A 29-year-old man has been arrested. Starting today, BC is tightening the rules around how people can take safe supply drugs. They now must be taken in front of a witness. It's a way to keep the prescribed pills from being resold on the streets, but as CTV's Rob Buffum reports, not everyone is sold on the idea.
BC's Safer Supply underwent a major shift Tuesday. With a few exceptions, all participants in the program will now need to ingest their prescribed alternatives to street drugs in front of a healthcare professional, often a pharmacist. A change the opposition says is an improvement, but one it says is an acknowledgement Safer Supply isn't really working.
This is really just managing someone's decline. We don't do this in any other area of mental health or medicine.
The shift, first announced in February, was prompted by leaked documents confirming what critics had warned about and the NDP had disputed. Significant amounts of the prescribed alternatives were being diverted, sold on the streets by criminals.
The government continues to paint this as a problem with bad actors in pharmacies. But the reality is that it was a government policy of giving out large quantities of highly addictive opioids.
Independent MLA Eleanor Sturko is the one who exposed the truth about diversion. She's happy about the changes, but wants a public inquiry and more answers, including the status of investigations into the dozens of pharmacies alleged to have enabled the diversion and how widespread it was.
We need to have answers and clarity. What does significant mean? And where is the accountability for those pharmacies that were under investigation?
The latest stats show 150 lives lost to toxic drug overdoses in October. Some worry Tuesday's move could actually add to those numbers, with street drugs becoming more convenient than prescribed alternatives.
My concern is always that if people don't go to get their prescription medications, then where will they go?
The health ministry tells CTV investigations into the pharmacies begun over 9 months ago are ongoing, and it remains committed to monitoring the program to ensure it's working as intended to save lives in a crisis that's already claimed more than 16,000 lives in 9 years.
And Rob joins us live now from Victoria. Rob, what does the province say about possible penalties for pharmacies found to be bad actors?
Well, Nafisa, those investigations, as we noted there, are still ongoing, but the province says where wrongdoing is found, a pharmacy will have their license suspended or canceled, and in instances where it's appropriate, it'll be referred to the police. Nafisa.
Rob Buff, I'm live in Victoria tonight. Thank you, Rob. The union representing 6,000 ambulance, paramedics and dispatchers say job action is on the table after a breakdown in contract negotiations. The ambulance paramedics of BC say after months of talks, negotiations stalled just before Christmas, and there are no dates for the union and province to return to the bargaining table. Paramedics are essential workers, so they can't walk off the job, but they could scale back services, including refusing overtime.
The ambulance service basically runs on overtime, and we already are dealing with staffing issues. So even if there was a minor percentage reduction in overtime, that would have profound effects on our ability to deliver care, and that's not something that we want to do.
He argues a better deal would help fill vacant positions and keep ambulances on the road, which is especially crucial during ER closures. Wages, benefits, and mental health supports are the main sticking points. The union is planning to hold a strike vote by late January or early February. Canadian Coast Guard is working to remove 5 boats that sank in Port Moody's Reed Point Marina. Those boats sank after a fire broke out on Saturday morning. After Port Moody fire crews put out the blaze, the Coast Guard says the marina put fuel containment booms around the sunken boats, but traces of fuel were seen outside the marina. The Coast Guard deployed pollution response equipment to collect the diesel. On Sunday, divers attempted to seal the fuel vents on the boats to prevent any more leaks, and work is now underway to remove the boats. The cause of the fire remains unclear. This white Toyota Yaris plunged down an embankment on the Coquihalla Saturday, killing a 21-year-old female driver. Mounties are now pleading for witnesses and dashcam video to determine if what they're calling a mysterious collision was criminal in nature. A former violinist for the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra is speaking out tonight. She has been threatened with legal action for knowingly violating a non-disclosure agreement she signed years ago after reporting an alleged sexual assault by a fellow musician. CTV's Shannon Patterson reports.
30-year-old Esther Huang is a violinist with the Vancouver Metropolitan Orchestra.
I am the concertmaster of that orchestra. I'm very grateful to be working there.
In 2017, after attending Juilliard, Huang was offered a position as an extra violinist at the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra.
You're on a call-by-call basis, but my call rate was 100% when I started.
Over several years, Huang alleges she was repeatedly sexually assaulted by a tenured VSO musician who was 15 years older than her and a married father of 2.
When I made a complaint to the VSO, their initial response to me was horrendous. The letter was full of victim shaming. It was despicable.
Huang eventually agreed to a settlement. Her alleged perpetrator would be fired by the VSO, but she had to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
That was the option they gave me. I was under a lot of psychological stress, financial pressure. It was important for me to continue working the VSO.
But she says she was called in less and less after coming forward, and then not at all. In 2024, she was contacted by a VSO musician.
And he told me, the rumor I heard was that you had an affair with that person. And because of that affair, you were fired and he was fired. I was heartbroken and devastated. I broke down in tears at the coffee shop. And I knew at that moment I had to make a decision. Am I going to break my NDA?
Wong contacted the president of the VSO asking for permission to break her NDA to defend herself.
About a month after, she emailed me saying, "You were never blocked from auditioning. And there are no rumors about you. And we will not release you from the NDA."
The VSO did hire an outside firm to look into the allegations.
She submitted a report to the VSO, agreeing with them that there was no retaliation at all.
In mid-December, Wong told her story to a national newspaper.
The very next day, the VSO sent me a cease and desist, threatening to sue me because I breached my NDA.
In an email to CTV News, the VSO said from the outset it has treated Wong's allegations with the utmost seriousness. As for the cease and desist sent on December 19th, the letter simply set out, for the record, that all parties remain bound by the agreement and that breaching it may have legal consequences. Our concern is that this breach publicly identifies specific individuals currently employed by the VSO in connection with unproven allegations. Wong wants the VSO to confirm publicly that it won't pursue legal action against her.
And then the other thing is to publicly commit that they will never do this again to a future victim.
The VSO's statement said, "We of course appreciate that perspectives on the use of NDA and the law around them are evolving. Should allegations like these ones be brought forward in the future, the VSO would apply a modern lens to them and follow current best practices and legal requirements, as we always have."
I'm happy to speak out about this because there is currently a movement to ban NDAs.
While the alleged assaults and the aftermath have been traumatizing, Wong's love of music hasn't waned.
VSO has never taken away that from me.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Heightened tensions and concerns for safety after a cougar kills a beloved cat on Vancouver Island. Just ahead, we'll hear from one of the residents who tried to save the family feline and why locals feel they're being hunted. But first, let's take a look down Robson Street. You can see the Christmas lights are still up. Some hustle and bustle out there. Caroline, it's dry. We are grateful.
Oh, yes, we are dry for now. Haha. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's talk about tonight and then what we can expect for the final day of 2025. Current temperatures throughout the Lower Mainland look like this. 4 degrees in Vancouver, and it's 3 degrees in Chilliwack, 2 in Abbotsford. So hovering just right around freezing, which is about typical for this time of year. As for looking ahead, we've got some cloud cover tonight. But again, dry tomorrow. Yes, we will see some sunshine. Alert sunshine in the forecast, and it will be dry. But how long will this sun last? Well, I'll tell you in a little bit.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next vacation by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
All right, so Nafisa, we've got a decent end to 2025, and how are we going to start 2026? Well, that's just a little tease that I'm going to leave with you.
This time of year, we'll take what we can get. Thank you, Caroline. Well, tensions are high on a hobby farm on Vancouver Island after a cougar attacked the family cat. One of the residents ran in to rescue the now deceased feline, but what happened after that has compounded a sense of unease ever since. CTV's Yvonne Raymond reports.
A family on Vancouver Island is on edge over a cougar that's been prowling their hobby farm, now causing the death of one of their cats.
Sunday night, 9:30, my mother-in-law came racing up in her car and said she needed help and that she had boots and he was injured and there was a cougar and he wouldn't leave.
A tuft of hair and speckles of blood leave painful reminders from where it happened on the back deck.
He moved the whole table to get to the cat.
Yeah,
and that's what you heard, you figured. The cougar dropped boots on the ground and then went further down the deck. And my mother-in-law bravely went and got our cat and brought him in for us.
She says Boots was alive when she was rushed to the vet, then died from injuries to her head.
It sounds really dramatic, but we're feeling hunted. We don't feel safe on our own property because of the history last year, because of the repeated sightings, because the cougar then stayed at my mother-in-law's. I think she said it was 2:30. The cougar was still there, stalking her house, upstairs and downstairs, looking in the windows, in her bedroom, in the downstairs windows where she has 7 foster kittens.
BC conservation officers visited the site the next morning. The Public Safety Service says there have been no other reports of conflict in the area and will respond as necessary to ensure public safety.
I feel a human has been threatened. I feel like our family has been threatened. I feel like, they said very kindly but very clearly that the death of a cat is not enough for them to do anything.
The province has also confirmed deer have reached a recorded low in the Coxsila area near Mill Bay.
I think knowledge is helpful. I think we should know that their food is scarce, so they're coming out, as well as obviously deforestation.
The family wants to start a conversation for potential change amid heartbreak. Yvonne Raymond, CTV News, Mill Bay.
A terrifying dog attack caught on dashcam in Calgary has left another dog with serious injuries and has prompted an investigation by bylaw officers. And as CTV's Tyson Fedor reports, the owner of the injured dog wants justice.
What was supposed to be a quiet Monday afternoon walk was anything but. This dashcam capturing the moment a large dog attacked a small beagle and its owner in Mackenzie Town.
A young man in his car was able to pull over and scare off the dogs, and I was able to kind of run the other direction.
Amanda Doherty credits that young man for saving her 4-year-old beagle Hank's life from an attack that she says lasted more than a minute.
That dog was not letting go. So if that guy didn't come up and break it up, I don't know. Like, I know for a fact I wasn't letting go.
Doherty was walking Hank on Prestwick Street and Prestwick Link when a large black lab and what Doherty says is a healer-type mix approached them from behind and began biting Hank.
For him to be kind of in my arms and hearing him crying, that was very traumatic for me and very sad.
A 5-hour vet visit and hundreds of dollars spent on bills and medication. Hank is now back home recovering. His left ear has 14 stitches and there is a puncture wound in his neck from the dog bite.
There's kids in the community, there's small dogs in the community, there's elderly people in the community. These dogs just can't get out and roam free and attack, especially unprovoked.
Doherty says she was left shaken by the incident, her boyfriend posting on social media, hoping to find a lead on the owner of the loose dogs. Now, Doherty has a warning for all other dog owners.
You could be doing all the right things. You've got your dog on a leash, you're in broad daylight, you know the area, you do all you can do, but at the end of the day, just always be aware of your surroundings.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
After the break on CTV News at 6, get ready to roll your eyes.
You're calling 911 because you wanted to take a parking spot, but somebody else took your parking spot.
Ecom fields more than 2 million 911 calls a year, but not all of them are emergencies. We'll hear some real calls that were not real emergencies and hear from a call taker who has to deal with it. When CTV News continues, stay with us. Welcome back. Most of us have encountered our fair share of inconveniences in 2025. Maybe you got a bad haircut or an airline tried to make you pay because your carry-on was too big. You wouldn't call 911 over that, would you? Well, some people did. CTV's Ben Milger has actual dispatch audio of this year's top 10 nuisance 911 calls.
Vancouver Police, what's your emergency?
With lives on the line, 911 dispatchers like Bailey Mitchell deal with critical emergencies every day.
I never know what to expect coming into work.
This is for life or death emergencies, so did you mean to call 911?
This is audio of an actual call Mitchell took about a broken dishwasher.
Cannot help you with your dishwasher. Have to call a repairman or your building manager, something like that, okay?
That was number 3 on Ecom's list of 2025's most unusual calls.
This year we have some parking complaints, we have a hornet in the apartment, consumer complaints like Walmart wouldn't return an air fryer, bad haircut.
I'm not sure why you're calling 911 to complain about a parking spot, right? This is super inappropriate.
Not every unusual call is what it seems. There are times when people in distress call 911 and don't want people around them to know they've done so. In those cases, dispatchers must rely on their experience to find out what's really going on.
Okay, are you safe, I guess, besides the hornet being there?
Are you speaking freely?
We're also trained to ask certain probing and safety questions just to make sure that what they're reporting is what is actually going on and that there is no emergency.
Nobody on this year's list of unusual calls turned out to be in any danger. Not even the person unhappy with their haircut.
What are you wanting police to do?
Or the person who couldn't get into their Airbnb.
Just being locked out of an Airbnb is not going to be an emergency.
Topping this year's list, a call from a passenger who didn't want to check their oversized carry-on at the airport.
You have to follow the rule of the airline, but it's not something the police will help you with.
As funny as these calls may seem,
it is a serious matter when you're calling in something that's not actually an emergency, because it is taking away those resources from people who do need our services in a timely manner.
Ecom staff hope everyone gets the message for 2026. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
And as the year comes to a close, BC Hydro is looking back at its most memorable outages of 2025. The top two happen on Vancouver Island, including this giant inflatable Godzilla that flew into the power lines at a car dealership in Nanaimo. BC Hydro says the other memorable outage was in the town of Sydney in May, when a group of kids were practicing casting fishing lines, and instead of hooking a big one, they accidentally hooked power lines, causing an outage for one customer.
The wackier trouble calls tend to come from these big storm events, because often people won't secure things in their backyard or on their balconies, and the wind will blow something like a Godzilla up into our wires or our infrastructure. So this year and the past 5 to 10 years, we've had probably more storms and more customers affected by storms than ever in our history.
BC Hydro is reminding people to never fly kites or drones or Godzilla near power lines. If you see a downed or damaged line, stay back about the length of a city bus and call 911. Still ahead, a treasure trove of items seized by police believed to belong to a former Canadian Olympian turned alleged drug lord. Plus, a brazen thief steals not one but two pricey mandolins from a music store. But incredibly, a few days later, they are returned, but that's not all. The note from the thief that changed the narrative. Stay with us. China fired 27 long-range rockets into waters near Taiwan today, marking a second day of military drills around the island. Beijing says the 10-hour live-fire exercises targeted areas off Taiwan's north and south coasts. The show of force comes less than 2 weeks after Washington announced a record $11.1 billion arms deal for Taiwan. A global manhunt with ties to BC is heating up. Authorities in Mexico have seized a fleet of luxury motorcycles tied to Ryan Wedding. That is the ex-Olympian and former Coquitlam resident turned fugitive. Investigators are hoping those bikes hold answers to the drug trafficking case. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
Dozens of high-powered motorcycles worth an estimated $40 million seized in a joint operation by Mexican authorities, the FBI, the RCMP, and Los Angeles police. Authorities say the collection belongs to Canadian fugitive Ryan Wedding. Each bike contains valuable clues.
Determining the flow of his supply, the flow of, his income, his drug supplies, his narcotics, of how it's being transported.
Earlier this month, the FBI released a new photo of Wedding. It's believed the former Olympic snowboarder is being hidden by the Sinaloa cartel.
Sinaloa has been undergoing a real attack on their power and their ability to protect Wedding, consequently, is starting to crumble.
Analysts say that after the Trump administration declared drug cartels terrorist organizations, Mexico increased its efforts to ferret out Wedding, prompted by watching the U.S. attack Venezuelan drug boats.
This is something they would not have done before the United States declared that the cartels were terrorist groups, because they didn't have to. But now they feel the threat of the possible attack by the United States,
About 30 associates of Wedding have already been arrested, including Wedding's Toronto lawyer, Deepak Paradkar, accused of counseling suspects to murder an informant. The U.S. wants him extradited. Paradkar was granted bail last week because of health concerns.
You know, obviously, we've seen in the movies, and it's true, they are going to, take out, execute, kill any individual who could potentially become an FBI informant. If they're under investigation, they're being extradited to the United States, that's a risk to them.
Ryan Wedding has been on the run since 2015. Not only is he considered the biggest cocaine trafficker in Canada, he's also accused of 4 murders in Ontario. A family of a Quebec couple is searching for answers after their loved ones were found dead in the Dominican Republic. The bodies of 56-year-old Alain Noel and 55-year-old Christine Sauvé were found in their vacation home in the early hours of December 26th. The cause of their deaths is still unknown. Autopsy results will be released in 10 to 30 days. Only then can their loved ones get the death certificates needed to repatriate the bodies. The family says there's been no indication of suicide or anything criminal.
We're like in a big shock, everybody here. My sister, the day before her death, was had a little issue of sickness, of being, lightheaded and all that.
He says his sister went to the hospital for tests on the 24th and was supposed to go back after Christmas. Global Affairs Canada says it's aware of the couple's death and is providing consular assistance. In Italy, at least 4 people were injured and around 100 others rescued after a cable car accident today. Officials say the cable car appears to have arrived at the top station too fast, causing the accident. People stranded at the top needed to be airlifted out. Thieves in Germany used a large drill to bust into a bank vault, stealing millions of dollars worth of property from safety deposit boxes inside. Well, the bank remained closed today, but about 200 people showed up demanding to get inside. The theft happened shortly before 4 a.m. Monday. Investigators believe somewhere between $11 and $105 million worth of items were stolen, affecting some 2,700 customers. It's being called one of Germany's largest heists. Speaking of heists, a bold theft left the owner of a music store singing the blues just days before the holidays, until an unexpected twist turned the beat around. NBC's Adam Harding has the story.
They're always strumming away at Lark Street Music in Teaneck. But leading up to the holidays, workers here were singing the blues, all because of a pricey theft that hit all the wrong notes.
That was quite a week, the week that was.
Store surveillance cameras capturing it all. Watch as the brazen thief grabs a mandolin off the wall, then he stuffs it in his coat pocket. A few seconds go by, he's looking around, then he does it again before walking off.
And I like especially when he took one, let's check and see if I'm looking or anything. I'll take the other one. I got 2 big pockets.
It's easy for owner Bernard Levine to laugh about it now, but there's nothing funny about what was stolen. Each instrument valued at roughly $4,000. So he did what any business would do. He posted the video to social media asking for help. And after just a few days online, those same cameras capturing the moment the mandolins were quietly returned.
Some guy opens the door up front, stoops down, and leaves. So I walked over there and wow, there are the 2 shopping bags with the guitar, with the mandolin neck sticking out.
One of the mandolins was slightly damaged, but what has everyone talking is the note left in the bag.
And it said, I've been drunk, Merry Christmas, you're a good man. I thought, well, if I was in that position, that's probably what I would do if I wanted to try to get out of a bad situation, try to make amends.
Levine says the guy also gifted him some chocolate, perhaps as a way of saying sorry.
Well, after the break, Caroline's got the full forecast. Will you need Gore-Tex on top of your gown on New Year's Eve? But first, we've got an unusual rescue. A squirrel gets stuck while dumpster diving. We'll show you how some firefighters had to get creative to free this little critter. Well, CTV News at 6 continues. A group of firefighters south of the border was called into action to help a tiny critter that got stuck in a tight spot. This squirrel was discovered unable to free herself after getting lodged in the drain hole of a dumpster. Rescuers were able to help free the squirrel, nicknamed Holly, thanks to some patience, care, and a little olive oil. Holly was transferred to a local wildlife center where she was bandaged up and cared for. Across the pond in England, a hedgehog is getting a second chance after an unusual rescue there. 2 water workers found this little guy stranded inside an underground storm tank. Using a pole, a bucket, and a hoe, they were able to scoop up the hedgehog, now named Aquarius, and will take it to a local wildlife rescue. You know, you get the cat stuck up in the tree stories, but now we have squirrel in dumpster and hedgehog in a storm drain.
Well, as long as they're all safe.
No animals were harmed in the creation of this segment of television.
Thank goodness for that, Nafisa. All right, let's take a look at the forecast on that happy note. Beginning with the current conditions in Vancouver, it's clear and it's cool. It's 4 degrees. The winds are calm. Nothing to report here, people. It is clear and dry, and it will stay that way for at least the next day. We've got some cloud cover to start the day tomorrow, but then would you look at this? Sunshine tomorrow in the evening. Yes, so if you are out reveling for New Year's, you're going to have a really, really nice day. No rain in sight, just a little bit of cloud cover. As for Port Hardy tomorrow, the last day of 2025, periods of rain and a high of 7 degrees. Campbell River, Comox, some clouds there and a high of 6. As for the South Island, Tofino and Port Alberni, we'll see a little bit of cloud cover there, high of 10 in Tofino. Nanaimo, we'll see a mix of sun and cloud and 7 degrees. Gulf Islands, look at that, mainly sunny skies, 7 degrees there. Victoria, mainly cloudy and a high of 8. As for the Sunshine Coast, not so sunshiny, mainly cloudy skies, high of 7 degrees there. Whistler, look at that, beautiful, nothing but sunshine. Squamish, mainly sunny skies there as well, and a high of 6. As for the lower mainland, mix of sun and cloud in the Vancouver area as you head toward the valley. More sun than cloud, but highs of 7 degrees all around. As for the 7-day forecast, the big question I've been getting is what's it going to be like for New Year's Eve? Well, as you saw on the satellite radar, it is going to be nice. It's going to be clear. Well, a little bit of cloud cover, but look at the low temperatures, 3 degrees. So bundle up, bring your toques, bring your scarves, put it over the sequin dress. I'm sorry to tell you, you got to do it. And then we have a beautiful start to 2026. And then the rain comes because we live in Vancouver.
Yeah, that's what happens. Those polar bear swimmers are going to need... they're going to not need an umbrella. Sunglasses instead.
Exactly. Sunglasses for the end of 2025 and the beginning of 2026. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations.
Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you.
Well, after the break, King of the Road.
The same automakers continue to dominate our top brand rankings.
Which automaker reigns supreme when it comes to reliability? We'll reveal the ranking for new cars so you aren't wasting your hard-earned money. You're watching CTV News at 6. Buying a new car is a big investment, and if you need to take out a loan, it'll cost you even more. So making the right choice matters. Consumer Reports reviews which automakers give you the best value for your money, and they have a list of what they say are the most reliable new cars. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
Every year, Consumer Reports asks its members about any problems they've experienced with their vehicles over the past 12 months. The survey covers areas from minor issues like trim and infotainment systems to serious and costly ones involving the engine, transmission, or electric motors. Problems no one wants to deal with on a new car.
The problem is that once the warranty expires, an unreliable new car starts becoming a real headache, and it costs you time and money.
This year, they analyzed data from about 380,000 vehicles. The top brands include Toyota, Subaru, and Lexus, with Honda and BMW rounding out the top 5.
The same automakers continue to dominate our top brand rankings. And that's because when they're looking to redesign a model, they're not making huge seismic changes. And many models across the line use shared components.
The latest findings show that EVs and plug-in hybrids remain more trouble-prone than traditional gas models, while conventional hybrids, which don't need to be plugged in, continue to stand out for reliability.
Hybrids are more complex than internal combustion models. However, some manufacturers, in particular Toyota, but also Hyundai and Kia, have worked out the bugs. And in some cases, the reliability of the hybrid models is similar to or even better than the regular versions.
Along with better fuel economy, researchers found hybrid versions often deliver a smoother driving experience than traditional gas models. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Actors Idris Elba and Cynthia Erivo are among the stars receiving royal recognition in Britain's New Year Honours list. Elba was awarded a knighthood for his work with young people, including efforts to tackle knife crime in the UK. And Erivo was inducted into the Order of the British Empire for her contributions to music and drama following her role in the Wicked movies. The pair joined more than 1,000 honorees, from a 20-year-old climbing champion to a 102-year-old judo instructor. Well, a lot of people may think of VHS tapes as something left sitting in their basements collecting dust, but they are far from obsolete. The format is making a comeback in Edmonton, and not just among those old enough to be nostalgic for it. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
I've had the shop for over 20 years, and VHS was dead for the first, I'd say, 10 or 15 years of my store.
The lobby on White Ave has always sold DVDs and Blu-rays, but lately demand has been growing for an older technology. The return of VHS tapes, as well as a growing community of collectors.
It's fun to show off new tapes that you got and see what other people are collecting.
Cody Cook says even though the quality is lower, tapes make up for it with charm.
Sometimes the tracking will be a little off, so you'll get the lines and maybe the sound warbles and stuff. It's very cool. It's a very unique experience.
Now, before you start searching your basements, not every tape is a guaranteed collector's item. It's usually ones that had smaller print runs or of more unusual genres and are still sealed. Not all collectors are motivated by nostalgia. 14-year-old Anthony Campianu isn't old enough to have watched a tape when they were new.
It's just the charm of them. I just like them so much. I think they're cool.
That hasn't stopped him from collecting more than 400 of them.
I think I'll be getting this one.
Tapes from long-gone distributors like Media, Anchor Bay, and Vestron Video at the top of many collectors' wish lists.
The most expensive tape I've sold was a copy of the original 1978 Halloween.
The lobby's owner says the growing demand is similar to the appeal of vinyl and cassettes, although many young collectors have yet to experience the hobby's pitfalls.
I love how it's a younger generation doing it, because I think once they start moving around a lot, like from house to house, they'll realize what a pain in the butt it is.
A trip back to the days before streaming. Just don't forget to rewind. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
After the break, putting the fun in fundraiser.
Any way we can highlight people that volunteer in the community is so important.
Oh, they're highlighting their volunteers, all right. We'll show you a cheeky calendar that's helping a small-town Canadian rink stay afloat. And later, caught on camera, Adam meets a couple amazed to see a whale rising above the water until they found a video camera, or rather video from a camera unexpectedly recording below it. Next on the Sawatsky sign-off. Right now, here's Carrie with a preview of your morning, Vancouver.
Can changing your diet help save the world? Wednesday on Your Morning Vancouver, the local research on what food to eat to fight climate change. Also, we'll show you the celebrations around the world as the first time zones ring in the new year, plus the 5 financial resolutions you should consider making in 2026. Join us as we say goodbye to 2025 and toast the new year. We'll see you in the morning.
In on the court.
The Vancouver Canucks will look to close the book on 2025 with back-to-back wins tonight as they host Rick Tockett's Philadelphia Flyers. The Canucks are coming off a shootout win against Seattle last night, while the Flyers lost 4-1 to the Kraken on Sunday. The puck drops just after 7. In France, ski hills are now turning to tech for resort safety. In the French Alps, Val Thorens ski resort is using drones with thermal cameras to find lost skiers. It's also testing autonomous drones, which can be deployed in seconds. Now, they're using them to keep track of how skiers are moving across the mountain, showing where the largest crowds are. That information will help guide where ski patrols should be in hopes of preventing accidents before they happen. With the Winter Olympics just around the corner, we're expecting to learn if a pair of young North Vancouver superstars will wear the maple leaf in Milan. Canada will unveil its men's hockey roster for the Milano Cortina Games tomorrow morning. North Vancouver's Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini are among the list of players who could grab the final forward spots. West fan's Sam Reinhart has already been named to the team, while Abbotsford's Devon Taves and Aldergrove's Shea Theodore are expected to make the squad on defense. A skating club in Alberta is turning volunteer appreciation into a hilarious fundraiser. The Nanton Skating Club has created a calendar featuring a dozen community members who keep local programs running, each posed for a specific month with photos featuring everything from farm fields to golf greens and an ice rink. Mr. August is pictured in a bathtub full of rubber duckies, a nod to the town's annual rubber ducky race.
It's nice to be recognized, but it's also one of those things, is it a trick?
There's no other town that has this amount of support from its local people.
Anything we can do to raise money for the community and help out or help kids and get things going is great.
Organizers say it's all about celebrating the heart and hilarious charm of people behind the scenes. They've already raised $3,000 and they're hoping this small town sensation goes viral. So move over firefighter Zach the Zamboni driver has his moment to shine.
I love the name. He's Mr. October.
Mr. October.
I love that.
We have some very interesting results in BC Parents Have Spoken. It's the 2025 most popular baby names in the province. Noah back on top after ranking first in 2022 and 2023. Last year's number one, Oliver, dropping down to second place. Oliver, you got to do better. Theodore, Liam, Olivia, and Charlotte do remain favorites, while Jack, Henry, Sophia, and James join the top 10 for the first time. More than 41,000 babies have been born in BC this year, down from almost 44,000 last year. Now, none of our names are on the list, but I will tell you, in the last year, there were 6 Carolines, 7 Laurens.
Wow.
I can't tell you if there were any Nafisas because they only track them if you have 5 or more. So there could be 1, there could be 4, but not 5.
Well, you are just distinct.
Yeah, there we go. Before we get to the Sawatsky sign-off, Lauren, what do you have cooking for the 11:30 show?
Nafisa, BC Highway Patrol, is asking for the public's help tonight after a deadly crash on the Coquihalla claimed the life of a Vancouver woman. The crash happened in broad daylight on December 27th, with the woman's car ending up down an embankment. We'll have more on what Mounties are asking for and hoping you can help with, and what they're searching for ahead of 11:50.
All right, thanks, Lauren. Well, what started as a quiet day on the West Coast turned into something straight out of a nature documentary. A local diver was testing a new camera when the ocean delivered an unforgettable surprise, and it was all caught on camera. Adam explains in this Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
Bit of overcast and calm water.
Before it turned into an extraordinary day,
went down to the dock.
Peter Maris says it began being quite ordinary.
This is the 360 camera.
The underwater videographer was trying to see if he could tie this new camera to that old fishing pole and reel it in and out of the ocean when the line broke.
I thought, that sucks.
But before Peter could dive down to fetch it, a flock of birds and a herd of sea lions started feasting on a school of anchovies.
A little bit like a National Geographic moment.
Until the unexpected arrival of a humpback whale.
Holy
turned the moment into a lot like one.
Oh, man, it was thrilling.
And that's when Peter's wife and partner at Rendezvous Dive Adventures, Kathy Johnson, started recording the whale joining the hunt too.
I mean, anything that size, that close, it almost took your breath away.
Their dog, Sam, was equally astounded. And after 2 hours of watching in wonder what was unfolding above the water, Peter retrieved that camera that had sunk and was shocked to see what had been recorded under it.
And we're going like, oh my Lord, this is a once in a lifetime.
We just burst with glee, you know? Watched it over and over again just because we couldn't believe what we were seeing.
And while the couple was struck by how gracefully and thoughtfully the big whale swam around their dock in such shallow water, they were also filled with gratitude that fishing rod experiment ultimately failed.
Failure is just another step towards success.
So why get frustrated when things don't go according to plan, they say. because you just might find things turn out even better than you could have conceived.
One way to get amazing things is if you take the risk. And so you got to try and try because you just never know.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
And what are the odds that the camera landed facing up and not face down into the bottom of the ocean?
Enjoy the ground.
So more scenic maybe than this, or probably hard to beat?
Yeah, you can keep your camera dry if you want to submit your scenic snapshot like Ken did here. Beautiful shot of the mountains there. If you want your photo featured, email us scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
That is all for us tonight, though. We will be back here tomorrow, a New Year's Eve special. Maybe I'll wear something sequiny. You'll have to tune in to find out. From all of us here at CTV News Vancouver, have a wonderful evening. Good night.